What's up, everybody? It's Ty the Bourbon Guy, and welcome back to another whiskey haul. So today, we're kind of all over the map. I don't know that there's one theme right now, but the theme is find good whiskey and buy it. That's what the theme is. First up, this bottle is one that recently I started hearing more about from Old Soul. This one is called Tintype Series 2. And I know that there's a Tintype Series 1, and that's a 7-year, I believe, that I happened to see around. But I kept hearing about this Tintype 2. That was a 9-year-old whiskey, and it is distilled in Indiana, so MGP, I would assume, but then aged and then bottled in Jackson, Mississippi at the Cathead Distillery where Old Soul is at. So this particular one, I got a chance to try it, and a fantastic whiskey. I can't wait to actually review this one officially, but the event that I went to get this bottle, there were your regular allocated stuff that was sitting out on the table, and you could pick one thing. I picked this one. So yes, these other bottles would be great to have, but they're ones that everybody else has, and they're one that everybody else always talks about, and whatever the case is, I love going in a different direction, and we definitely did with this one. So a 9-year MGP, the proof on this is 122.2 proof. So I think a fantastic proof. You can, hopefully the camera picks that up, but the color on this bottle, color looks great, but again, not always what the color looks like, but what does the whiskey taste like? I got a chance to try it. It's phenomenal. So I'm excited to have this bottle. One of the other ones that I came across lately, and I'm starting to see it pop up a little bit more, is Bond and Lillard. Bond and Lillard was the one that I didn't have before. I actually saw it several times back when I got, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but WB Saffels. I had that bottle, and I know that this was part of it. There was actually 3 in that lineup, and when I saw it, I don't know, $375 and that price. I don't know. But then once it went away, I don't know, something about it that made me want to go back and find it. So now that the bottle's come back out, and I'm starting to see it, at least see more of it in my area. I don't know what happened to it or whatever the case is, but I'm starting to see more of it. And with that being said, I had to get it. This particular one, I don't really know too much about it. I know that it is now a Wild Turkey product. That's pretty much the extent of what I know about this one. So it's 100 proof. You know, I don't know necessarily what they chose to do with the mash bill of the recipes, anything like that. Is this going to have more of a Wild Turkey spice profile, or is it going to go in a different direction? I don't know. Only one way to find out is to taste test it and officially review it at one point, coming soon. This particular one, Belle Meade, this is the 108.3 proof bottle. So the 108.3 proof, I actually have the same bottle that's cask strength back before they started limiting it to 108.3. That I still have some. This particular one is done being produced, I should say. So if you see this, this is it. Once these are gone, this is gone. It's discontinued. So if you happen to know of a store in your area or something that has this, I would highly recommend to go get it. There's a store in my area that had maybe about 6 of these halfway through last year, and I kept watching it every time I'd go in there. Kept watching, didn't pull the trigger. Finally decided, when they got down to about 2, that somebody's going to come in here and know what I know and buy both of those and be extremely happy, and I'm going to be frustrated that I waited. So I just went ahead and did it, and I left one on the shelf in case anybody else wanted one. Again, I have some more of the cask strength as well, so didn't want to be too greedy, but excited to get this one. Peerless, another distillery that's been doing a lot of great things lately. Their double oaked rye, I had a barrel pick of that recently that was absolutely fantastic. It was one of the best, not just ryes that I've ever had, but one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. And part of that was because of the picking process, but part of it, I think, is just their double oaked rye. I think that the products that they're making originally made me reevaluate my choices with rye whiskey, because originally I was not a rye guy. I was a bourbon guy, hence the name. But basically what happened was I tried their rye when they first released and came to the market, and it just kind of made me take a step back and look at that product and say, wait a minute, maybe I need to give rye more of a fair shot. So I've been on board with Peerless since they've come to the market. And now to see them do the double oak process, the bourbon, the rye, and now they have the high rye mash bill. I think a lot of times the high rye mash bill, in my opinion, can provide a little bit more of a balance in a bourbon. And so I'm excited to see what Peerless does with that. Their rye is fantastic. I've only ever had their double oaked bourbon, pretty good. I prefer their rye, which is kind of unique for me, but to have a high rye mash bill, I'm excited. What happens when these two play together, and how good can this be? So this one is actually barrel proof. Mentions no water added, 110.5. So 110 barrel proof is an interesting proof. But either way, I think that that's going to be hopefully a good concentration of flavors and hopefully provide for a very good experience. Can't wait to drink this one. The next one is Penelope Toasted. This actually is the toasted 100 proof. So I have a bottle of it was a pick. That's the toasted barrel strength. I want to say it's 122. I could be wrong on the proof. But that one is fantastic. That one is one of my favorite toasted products on the market. The only thing is it's a lot harder to find. It's a pick, and my understanding is that they only do the barrel strength toasted when it's a pick, I guess. This particular one is 100 proof. That's just available on the shelf. I'm interested to see. I know how good that toasted is at a barrel strength proof. Can that hold up at 100 proof? Does it feel too watered down? Do I lose some of that flavor? I'm interested to see. But with how good that toasted is at a higher proof, I'm definitely willing to try it at a lower proof. And plus, Penelope does a lot of things that are fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of different products that they have that I love, and I trust what they're doing there. Their finishing has been great. Their blending has been amazing. So what is there not to like? It's at least worth a try. I did get a chance to try their toasted rye, and I will say that one wasn't really my favorite, but the toasted bourbon was amazing, and I can't wait to try this one at 100 proof. And last but not least, we can all talk about Blanton's and Eagle Rare and how there's all these other things on the market and whatever. But when you come across an Eagle Rare single barrel store pick, you grab it. At MSRP, I should say. This one is one that was picked by West Clay Wine and Spirits here in the Indianapolis area. And, obviously 10-year age stated, as all Eagle Rares are. Eagle Rare single barrel is kind of different for me. Buffalo Trace, the regular offering, I drink it just fine. It is fine. I think it's great in a cocktail, whatever it is. The single barrels, I think, offer a little bit more to that whiskey than just their regular Buffalo Trace product. Eagle Rare, I actually go the other way. Eagle Rare, I actually prefer the taste profile of the batched product. When you have a single barrel, it can go in a different direction when it comes to that taste profile. In Eagle Rare, a lot of times I get something way off from what I'm used to with Eagle Rare, and sometimes I don't necessarily like a single barrel product. I got a chance to try this one, and I thought this actually, to me, feels more like a single barrel Eagle Rare, if that makes sense. They're all single barrel Eagle Rares, but that profile is kind of going in that direction. We're not getting pulled in a whole different direction. This is very close to Eagle Rare, and I think it actually offers a little bit more to it. Now, my understanding about this pick is that this was not one that they actually got to pick. This was one that was picked by the distillery. How they chose this particular one, I don't know. But either way, it was a very good pick and enough for me to grab the bottle. So again, not really much thought behind this one. It was just, you see it, you buy it. That is what it is. And especially with whether it's a Blanton's or an Eagle Rare, a lot of times for me personally, there's people that I know that are kind of getting into whiskey and either just want to try these things, or maybe they're looking for different bottles, and I just try to help, whether it's a gift or whatever the case is. And so anytime I see any of these, I'm going to grab them. But I like to enjoy them myself as well. Eagle Rare is one of the ones that really got me to appreciate whiskey years ago, and I'm excited to see that people are figuring that out and loving it. So as much as it's frustrating that I can't go into a store and just go buy it whenever I want, I'm also happy that so many people are talking about it and getting into whiskey purely based on this bottle. So I'm all for it. That's all I have lined up for today's whiskey haul. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have some whiskeys to try and review, and I'm going to try my hardest to keep up with those reviews because the whiskey hauls are coming a lot more frequently than the reviews are. But either way, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next whiskey haul video. Cheers.